Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. I am super excited today. For those of you that are coming on, joining me live, I want to say welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Today is Tuesday, August the 22nd, 2023. It's 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Wherever you are, whoever you are, I want to say good afternoon to you. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Please, if you would be so kind, put in the comments. Let me know what city you're watching your boy from, who you're representing today. Let me know in the comments. I love to know what city you're representing, who you're representing. And if you are a student in any of our courses, programs, if you're a mentee in our coaching program, if you are a part of our active business community here under the umbrella, the banner of Ramonepreston University, please let the world know by putting in the comments who you are as a student, who you are as a mentee or a client for our consulting division. I want to say thank you so much for joining the show today. If you don't know, I want you to know. My name is Ramonepreston. I am the host of this amazing, extraordinary show called the Ramonepreston Show, where we show up every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, to really give you the game, to give you information, to give you strategies and tools and resources and information that you can use to properly start your business, properly structure your business so that at some point you can successfully scale your business. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a go-getter, if you're a small business owner and you know that you have a lot of dreams and desires, a lot of aspirations and ambitions to take your business to the next level, what I share on this show can help make that happen. Listen, I have built a successful seven-figure organizational enterprise. Even though I have a lot of people that troll me, which every influencer or social media personality has. Like if you're on social media long enough and if you start sharing the information that you might be using in your own life, whether you are a crook, a scam, or you are a straight up legitimate, honest, God-fearing person, you're going to always have people who going to troll you, criticize you, talk about you, and come at you sideways. That's the nature of the beast of social media. But that comes with the territory. But I know, and the people that know me know, what we have built here at Ramonepreston Enterprises is a real business. It's a real operation. We are successfully navigating a lot of people to their next level. We have students in our programs. We have clients in our programs. We have mentees who are being coached by me and my team on a day-to-day basis. And we have a lot of success stories. We have a lot of people who have taken what I teach them and they've seen results. So it's just a matter of time that what I'm sharing with you is going to make sense. So with that being said, thank you for joining the show. Again, put in the comments what city you're watching me from. Let me know if you're a student or a mentee or a client watching. I want the world to know that we have real people. I've been making a conscious effort every day that I come on this show to ask all of you who are students, who are mentees, who are clients, who work with me and my company. I've been making a conscious effort to ask you respectfully to please put in the comments that you are a student. Let people know what results you're getting, what things you're learning, and how what you're getting from us is helping you. It's very important. You have no idea how many people are scamming people on social media. Maybe you do, but we got a lot of scammers. We got a lot of people who are capping, who are faking and acting like they doing something they're not. You know, there are a lot of people who teach courses. They have online programs and they're just giving you things that they themselves have never done. So when you do have a person who's really doing the work, who really works a real business and who's helping a lot of people tremendously, you got to get behind that. So I want to say thank you in advance. I see you over here on IG. Dayton, Ohio is in the house. Shout out to Dayton, Ohio. In the chat, I see Mr. Gerald, Mr. Coffee Man, Birmingham is up in here, up in here. Gerald Ware Coffee Company. He says, I've learned so much from this man. My holding company is set up, preparing to scale. I'm learning the value of giving value in marketing. Give till you feel like you're giving away too much. We got Dayton, Ohio. Is Cole Patrick Foster said, I am a student. Absolutely, they really are capping. Who are capping? Am I capping? Are you saying I'm capping? Or are you saying they capping? I'm sorry, I misread that. Are you a student? We over here in IG, I'm just making sure I got a real student over here now. I don't need y'all slamming on me today. Are you a student? Are you in the Millionaire Blueprint? Hopefully you are. But thank you for putting your comments. Thank you for sharing information with us. And thank you for letting the world know who we really are and what exactly are we doing. So today, I want to talk to everyone about the biggest leverage point for today's entrepreneur. Okay, you're a student. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of our program. The biggest leverage point for today's entrepreneur. So first of all, I want you to understand today's entrepreneur looks different than yesterday's entrepreneur. I think you understand that. But I want you to understand it from the perspective that if you were an entrepreneur 3 years ago, prior to the pandemic, prior to COVID, prior to the quarantine, if you were a entrepreneur in yesterday's marketplace, let's just say 3 years ago, the way you operated as an entrepreneur 3 years ago is totally different than how you have to operate as an entrepreneur today. I hope you understand that. So the strategies that you used, the systems that you used, the processes that you used, how you presented your products and services, whatever platforms that you use for your sales and for your marketing, all of those things just 3 short years ago, they don't work in today's marketplace. And so I was having this conversation last night in our weekly coaching call with our mentees, and we started really going deep into the weeds of how we must leverage the assets that we have as entrepreneurs in today's marketplace. I'm talking about in 2023. How do we take the assets that we have as entrepreneurs and how do we leverage those assets? And so I want to talk to you about some leverage points, because most of the main concepts and principles that I teach, that I mentor my mentees on, that I consult entrepreneurs and business owners on, most of these concepts, I believe in today's world, for today's entrepreneur, I believe that they are leverage points. So let me give you a few examples of what I believe could be powerful, tremendous, big leverage points for you as a entrepreneur. Well, the holding company that is a leverage point. And I'm explaining to you why these are leverage points and how you can use them as leverage points. Asset management. That's another leverage point. That's another leverage point. All right? Creative tax strategies. That's a leverage point. These are things that most entrepreneurs in today's marketplace don't understand. And you can argue with me about this, but I see the stats. I know the numbers. I talk to and work with enough entrepreneurs on a day-to-day basis to know that I won't even say the average entrepreneur. Most entrepreneurs who have LLCs, who are out there in the marketplace selling products and providing services, most of these individuals do not know anything, or they might know just a little about these business and financial concepts. So the holding company is a leverage point for today's entrepreneur. Asset management is a leverage point for today's entrepreneur. Creative tax strategies is a leverage point for today's entrepreneurs. And operational systems. This can be a leverage point for today's entrepreneurs. I'm going to just talk about these four because I consider these four to be like the creme de la creme. This is like the cream of the crop when it comes to being an entrepreneur in today's world. Now, why do I say these types of concepts and principles for business and finance are considered leverage points, big leverage points for today's entrepreneur? Well, here's why. Because most entrepreneurs, when they get an idea to sell a product, when they get an idea to provide a service because they're good at doing something, most entrepreneurs, they'll get an LLC, they'll structure this legal entity. You know, they'll get their domain name and they'll get their website and their landing pages and they'll put their little click funnels and everything together. They'll do all that, right? And then they'll just go into the marketplace and they'll just do their best to market their products and their services and get as much attention as they can to make a conversion. One of the biggest problems with that, and y'all know I'm telling the truth, is you are in a shark-infested, bloody ocean where everybody's trying to sell products like that. Everybody's trying to provide a service like that. So whatever the business is that you're in right now, all you got to do is go to Google and type in your city and the type of business that you have just to see how many people are going to show up in your Google search that are in your city and that are doing the same thing that you're doing. You'll be surprised. So let's say, for example, if you're a barber, if you are a designer, if you are a real estate agent, an insurance agent, if you are a hairdresser, if you are a contractor, a construction worker, if you do Uber, whatever the things are that you do, whatever the products are that you sell or services you provide, I want you to go to Google, type in that type of business and type in your city. You ain't even got to type in your county. You definitely don't even have to type in your state. Just type in your city and see how many businesses just like yours are going to come up. So guess what that means? Just because you're marketing, which you're probably not marketing like bigger companies are, just because you're trying to make a sale where you're probably not selling like most bigger companies that are more sophisticated, they got more resources, they got more training, they got more time, they got more opportunities, you might not be marketing and selling like them. And what you're going to find out is, oh, wow, I got a whole lot of competition. This is why I'm not making a whole lot of money. And we all feel that. So I'm not sitting over here on this side of the camera acting like my competitors ain't giving me a run for my money. I'm not over here acting like my competition ain't putting pressure on me. They are, because people who are showing up on social media like I am, talking about courses and programs and coaching and consulting and all the things that I talk about, there are tens of thousands of people doing this every day. Everywhere you scroll on social media, somebody's trying to sell you something like I'm trying to sell you something. So it ain't easy for me. However, what I know, because I've done my research even against some of my competitors, I know that a lot of my competitors, like most entrepreneurs, they do not understand some of these high-level concepts that could be used as leverage points in your business. So as a entrepreneur in today's world, a post-pandemic world, you got to figure out the most creative ways to reposition yourself in the marketplace so that you can use your assets and your repositioning as leverage points to get more attention and to make more conversions. Hopefully, I'm making sense to those of you that are watching, okay? Louisville, Kentucky is in the house. Shout out to you in our chat. Appreciate you for coming on. So are you understanding what I'm saying? That the biggest leverage points for today's entrepreneurs look like this. Why do I consider the holding company a leverage point? Because it really repositions you in your business structure. Because if you just own a LLC that sells a product or provides a service, a lot of times it can bottleneck you. It can limit you from pivoting into other things when you're just stuck in an operating LLC. So when you have an LLC or a business structure set up that sells a product or provides a service, that's considered an operating LLC. A holding company is not an operating LLC. It is a LLC that actually owns the operating LLC. Because when you have a company that owns another company, that takes you off of the company that you're running and it puts you on top of the company that owns the company that you're running. And so just creating that separation mentally, it gives you the wiggle room and the flexibility to start moving into other things that don't get you stuck waking up every day feeling like you on a hamster wheel trying to sell a product or trying to provide a service. How many of y'all entrepreneurs know what I'm saying? You got a business, you done put your heart, your blood, sweat, and tears behind this business. You got products that you're trying to sell. You got a service that you're trying to provide. And it just seems like you can't get no traction. You can't get no momentum. It seems like you ain't going nowhere. You just keep running into brick walls and you're dealing with this resistance. Well, if you just reposition the structure of your business, if for nothing else, it will free you up to start thinking above and beyond and bigger than just the business that you operate in every day. So the average, and I'm not even going to say the average. I'm not even going to say the average. Most entrepreneurs, when they get an idea for a business, they start their LLC and they try to sell the product. They try to provide the service. That's how they start their business. That's how they structure their business, okay? That's most entrepreneurs right here. They start the LLC. They go out into the marketplace trying to sell the product. They go out into the marketplace trying to provide the service. That's the profile of most entrepreneurs. But that's not a leverage point because everybody is doing what you're doing. Again, if you just Google the type of business you got in your city, you're going to find out that there's probably thousands of people just in your city. Within a 5-mile radius of where you live and do business, there's probably thousands of people that's doing the same thing you're doing. And they probably got ad dollars. They probably got way more resources than you. And guess what? It's hindering your business opportunities. It's affecting your sales. So the holding company is one leverage point. And I think it's a big leverage point, and it's going to become even bigger as we continue to move into the next couple of years, because there's a transference of wealth. There's a wealth transfer that's taking place. So this baby boomer generation, this generation, they're retiring. They're getting ready to just check out, right? They don't want to run a business no more. They don't want to manage properties, and they don't want a big portfolio no more. Me and my mentees, we were talking about this last night, and we went real deep into this last night on my coaching call. And we were really talking about how within the next few years, a lot of the new millionaires that are getting ready to be created, they're going to be created because they have properly positioned themselves by using certain leverage points like these that most entrepreneurs don't know nothing about. And you got to put yourself in the best position. So this is the profile of most entrepreneurs. They get an idea, they start an LLC, and they try to push their product and sell their service. And they get to a point to where they burning out, they grinding, and ain't nothing happening. Well, if you use the holding company as a leverage point it's not going to look like this. Here is how it's going to look. What you're going to do is you're going to be at the top of this mountain. You're going to start your holding company. This is holding company, LLC. And then instead of you having the operating company right under you, you put the operating company here because this positions you to free your mind to think about other things that you need to be doing in addition to trying to sell this product or in addition to trying to provide that service. So it doesn't mean you're going to stop doing this. It just means that you've repositioned yourself to be free to start focusing on getting into the future, casting a bigger vision. Am I making sense about that? So there's an old church saying, there's an old church adage. Some of y'all might have heard it before. The old church adage is, if you build it, the people will come. Some of y'all might have heard that before. You know, they used to always say that to pastors. If you build it, the people will come, which is really not true. Just because you build a church, people ain't coming because you build a church. I know that firsthand because I started a church from the ground up. But the idea behind it is, if you build an infrastructure, what's necessary will start showing up, or at least you have the capacity for it to show up because you built it. Well, I think when you build the right business infrastructure, the people are really the ideas. The people are really the strategies. They start showing up because you freed yourself up from being suffocated as just an entrepreneur who's selling a product or providing a service. So I hope I just explained how big and how powerful the holding company is as a leverage point. Now, why is an asset management a leverage point for today's entrepreneurs? Well, again, I just mentioned to you, and I talked about it last night on my coaching call. Within the next 3 years, the number of millionaires is supposed to double. So we got 22 million millionaires right now. By 2026, in 3 years, it is projected to go to about 44 million. So the number of millionaires are going to double in the next 3 years. And I listen, I'm willing to bet that when we get to 2026, 3 years from now, and if we go from 22 million millionaires to about 40 million, even if we go to 30 million, even if we just go to 28 million, even if that number just goes up a little bit, which they're projecting it to double, I can almost guarantee you that when you look at the profile of these new millionaires, they're going to be using these concepts and strategies. I can almost guarantee that they're going to be corporate leaders. They're going to have multiple entities under a structure. I can almost guarantee that they're going to be asset managers, meaning that they're going to grow by scaling their business through hiring more people, through integrating new systems, through acquiring new businesses and assets. I guarantee that's going to happen. And guess what? Most likely, they're going to be sophisticated strategists when it comes to their taxes, or at the very least, they're going to have enough money through sales that they can hire accountants and tax strategists to keep them minimizing their taxes and maximizing their deductions. And definitely, they're going to have operational systems and processes in place to make what they do across their whole organizational enterprise run effectively and efficiently. How many of y'all disagree with that? Like, if you disagree with that, you must be on something. I mean, it's almost a guarantee that these new millionaires in 3 years are going to be using concepts like this as leverage points. So yes, I'm on here today giving you free information. Yes, I show up and I share things with you about business and entrepreneurship. And yes, I want to sell you something. You doggone right. I'm a businessman. I'm supposed to sell you something. I wouldn't be doing you a service if I don't offer you something to buy so that we can exchange, build a relationship, and you can get what I got and you can learn from me and get to where you want to go. I'm supposed to do that. But guess what? Whether we do business or not, it ain't going to change the fact that there are millions of people who going to become millionaires in the next 3 years. If you don't buy nothing, if you don't sacrifice anything, if all you do is just sit on the sidelines and watch people like me run our mouth for the next 3 years and grind it out, at some point you're going to realize that these people use leverage points to grow their businesses, to increase their revenue, and to make a bigger impact in the world. So I'm giving it to you raw and uncut. So asset management is another leverage point. It's a big leverage point for today's entrepreneurs. And I think as a business owner, you have to, number one, as a business owner today, you have to at least understand the basic infrastructure of a holding company so that you can build your organization out and it can start looking like something like this, where you have your holding company, you have your operating divisions, you have your subsidiaries, and you have this multifaceted, complex structure under an umbrella that keeps you at the top so that you could continue to forecast and launch vision into the future. So you're gonna have to have that. I really encourage you to wrap your mind around that. But once you understand the structure side of business, I think you're gonna need in the next couple of years as we move into the future, especially with this baby boomer generation transitioning, there's gonna be a lot of mergers and acquisitions. There's gonna be a lot of assets being transferred to today's generation, and it ain't gonna be person to person. It's gonna be business to business, entity to entity. So once you have your entity structured the right way, I believe that you need to learn the basics of asset management as a business owner. I'm not talking about being a hedge fund manager. I'm not talking about being an asset manager on Wall Street. I'm talking about you learning how to manage the day-to-day operations of this type of complex structure, because these are your assets. And I think the more you learn how to identify with assets and accumulate those assets and then integrate them into your business ecosystem, you're going to figure out one of the most creative ways to leverage what other entrepreneurs are missing. Other entrepreneurs are missing this. I'm telling you, I talk to entrepreneurs every day. They are missing these concepts. The concept of the holding company. They're missing the concept of asset management. They don't even know how to identify with assets. I always use this as an example. This is a pen for my digital whiteboard. If you saw this pen, but you're not familiar with these whiteboards, you wouldn't know how much of an asset this is to this board and to me, who owns the board. So if you saw this randomly somewhere, you might not even pay attention to it, because to you it means nothing. But to me, because I understand the utility of it, when I see it, it's an asset. It's something that I want to get my hands on. So the moment you start becoming an asset manager as a business owner, you're not just thinking as a CEO. You're not just thinking as an operator, as a hustler, as a grinder, or as a basic entrepreneur. You're starting to think like someone who is looking for ways to accumulate assets, integrate them into your business so that you can increase your revenue, increase your net worth, increase your enterprise value, and get to where you want to go. So this is one of the reasons why asset management is one of your biggest leverage points, and how to leverage it in your business is exactly how I explained it. The third concept that I see as a big leverage point for today's entrepreneur is creative tax strategies. This is one of your biggest bills. One of the biggest bills, if not your biggest bill, is taxes. So I always tell entrepreneurs, once you start making money in your business, like once you start figuring out how to make sales, how to market yourself, and you start selling products and services and making a little money, the next problem you realize you have, which you've been had, you just didn't realize it, is taxes. That's going to become a big problem to you once you start making money. Most people already have a tax problem even if they're not making money in their business. You got a tax problem if you work a W-2 job. You got a tax problem every time you spend money, somebody's taxing you. So the last thing you want to do is market your business, make sales, and not have some type of creative tax strategy in place or multiple strategies in place to help minimize your taxes and maximize your profits. Now, you're going to need to have good CPAs, good tax strategists, people who are experts and who know what they're doing in your corner. But you still need to at least know how to wrap your mind around the basic fundamentals of financial accounting in your business. You cannot just depend on your bookkeeper or your virtual assistant that you outsource this activity to, thinking you're going to stay on top of strategies that will lower your taxes and maximize your profits. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. And your CPA or your tax strategist they're not going to educate you on all of this, because they might not be educators. Like every CPA and tax strategist that I have worked with and that I do work with, they don't have classes for this. They give you information. They're going to work with you. They're going to do their part. Most of them are really just like, real black and white about things. They're just like, hey, here's what it is. Here's what it ain't. And it ain't nothing in the middle. Like a lot of them are either by the book. They think one way. They're not trying to become internet gurus. You know what I'm saying? Some of them do. You can find them, especially in today's world, but a lot of them don't, especially if you have relationships with local experts and CPAs or tax strategists or attorneys. A lot of them are doing their job, they're serving their clients, so they ain't got time to be putting on all these classes and courses and mentorship programs for you. So that means you got to take responsibility, a fiduciary responsibility, to know your way around your bookkeeping. This is going to be a big leverage point for you as an entrepreneur in today's world. And then the fourth and final leverage point is operational systems. We got technology today that gives us so much leverage, y'all. We got so much technology today that gives us such an amazing capacity and ability to scale our businesses, because now we can scale our businesses through systems and processes. And here's another thing for all of you entrepreneurs that want to scale your business and you want to create what we call a general operating system. A general operating system is really the sum total of all your activities in your business, your marketing activities, sales activities, financial activities, administrative activities, and your executive activities. If you can consolidate all of them through technological platforms that track data, that track the metrics, that track the analytics of everything that you do, you're going to make your life much easier, and you're going to make it much easier for other people that you choose to hire. So when you're trying to hire people, even if you got the money, but your business is out of order and in a mess, you expecting for people to come in and fix all your problems because you're lazy. You don't want to learn the basic fundamentals of operational systems. Like this stuff I'm telling y'all, you are not going to be able to just outsource all this. At some point, you got to take responsibility for your own business and accept the fact that if you think you can outsource everything to everybody else and build a successful business, maybe there are people who pull that off. But the number of people who have pulled that off are very low compared to the people who try that and it don't work and they bankrupt or they stay stuck. So you're gonna have to be willing to put some sweat equity into what I'm telling you. And that sweat equity is going to require you to at least learn the basics of these concepts and understand that if you learn these concepts the right way, they can be leverage points, big leverage points for you, and they will help you scale your business within the next couple years. So as I said, I'm going to look back 3 years from now with all the statistics and studies that's coming out, I'm going to look back 3 years from now. It's going to be 2026. I'm going to be looking back into this year and saying, okay, how many new millionaires do we have? And I'm going to look back to videos like this, and I'm going to say, wow, I was telling people in 2023, these were going to be some of the biggest leverage points. These were going to be the things that entrepreneurs figured out to use that scaled their businesses and positioned them to be a part of this generational wealth transference that's taking place right now in the United States of America. So with that being said, for all of you, I told you, I don't apologize for selling you courses. I don't apologize for offering you products. I'm a businessman. I'm supposed to. This is what I do. This is what God has given me to do. I'm an educator. I've been an educator for over 20 years in business, in ministry. I have a successful business, a successful nonprofit ministry. So I'm supposed to let the world know that I've figured out a way to become successful, to take care of my wife and my family, and to build a business, and to make sure that my staff is taken care of, and my church and my community. I'm supposed to talk about that. And anybody that don't like it, who cares? That's their problem. I know I have a responsibility to let my people in my community know. And just because I'm a businessman and I charge for certain products and services, don't make me a bad person. It makes me a good businessman. It means that I understand the value of my time and my information and my intellectual property and my energy and what I put behind what I have created for me. And what makes me even bolder and more confident in presenting information to you and offers to you is the fact that what I teach, I live. That's where my confidence just goes through the roof, because I live what I teach. So if you're watching this video, we have about 11 more days before we host a live virtual business boot camp. On Saturday, September the 2nd, I'm hosting a one-day deep dive. It's going to be virtual. So that means we have a private link that you're going to be able to access from Ramonepreston University, our university training platform. I'll be standing or sitting or both right here where we are in our studio. You'll be streaming in from that private link, and from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, September 2nd, I'm going to take all of that time and I'm going to deep dive into all 4 of these leverage points. These are pillars. These are concepts and principles that I believe every entrepreneur should learn. Whether you're a solopreneur, whether you're a stay-at-home entrepreneur, whether you are a W-2 employee with a side hustle, or whether you're a full-time business owner, you, my friend, listen to me, need to learn in 2023 about holding companies, asset management, creative tax strategies, and organizational systems. You need to learn those 4 pillars, principles, concepts, leverage points, because I'm telling you, what we see happening in the marketplace, what we see happening in the economy, it's going to be a bloodbath for some, but it's going to be a blessing for others. And I am going to be on the blessing side. I am not going to miss this next wave. I remember back in 2008 when the bottom fell out. My wife and I was a 2-person real estate team. And even though we didn't go bankrupt, we didn't really have a whole lot at the time. We were just a 2-person entrepreneur team, waking up every day, scrapping, trying to make a living as full-time entrepreneurs. We didn't have a big business, a big infrastructure, staff. We didn't have any of that, all right? We had nothing like we have now. And we saw a lot of people who bankrupt. They lost everything. We saw people who had to pivot out of certain industries because of the way the real estate market, the financial market, the lending market, and even people who were in other ancillary businesses that were related to real estate. I'm talking about like home inspectors, appraisers. Everybody was forced to pivot. We had to pivot. But here's the thing. We were not in a financial position or a business position to capitalize on a lot of the upside from the recession that took place in 2008. We were just not in that position. We just had to ride it out, make sure we can eat and pay our bills and take care of our family. And when we got to 2020 and we saw that there was going to be this pandemic and there was this quarantine, my wife and I, we had made a promise to God, to ourselves, and to our family back after 2008 that we wasn't going to put ourselves in that position. We had made a promise that the next time something like this happens, whatever it might be, we going to be in a financial position, in a business position to ride that wave and to capitalize on the opportunities. And that's what happened to us in 2020. So while everybody else was quarantined, downsizing, shutting down, we was riding that wave. And because we were in a position to ride that wave, 3 years later, we still riding and we still gliding and we're still going and we're still growing. And this time we're taking a lot of people with us. All right. And so whatever's happening now economically, whatever's happening now in the marketplace regarding entrepreneurship and business ownership and investments and asset management and all the changes that are taking place, the digitization of society, artificial intelligence, the outsourcing of goods and services, and all these things that are happening, you still have opportunities that are available to you if you have the right information and knowledge and application. And so I think these are 4 main concepts and principles that if you learn them, they will help you. So again, Saturday, September the 2nd, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., I'm hosting a live virtual business boot camp. All right. I want to offer you a VIP ticket to join me that Saturday. Plus, I want to give you 1 year access, unlimited access to 4 training programs for holding companies, asset management, creative tax strategies, and organizational systems. So that's five offers that we have put together in our business bootcamp bundle. That's what we call it. It's a business bootcamp bundle, and we're offering it for only $97. So for $97, you get a VIP ticket to join me in 11 days for my 1-day virtual business bootcamp where I'm going to be deep diving on these four topics, and you get unlimited access for a year to four training programs on holding companies. We show you how to start and structure them. We show you how to manage the day-to-day operations. We have a startup kit inside of this holding company course. We have a course on asset management, creative tax strategies, and corporate organizational systems and processes for $97. I mean, come on. Somebody spend $97 on lunch or dinner. So all you have to do is text the word bootcamp to 678-276-8253. Text the word bootcamp to 678-276-8253. So what's going to happen, Ramon, if I text the word bootcamp to that number? Here's what's going to happen. We're going to reach back out to you like now. You text it right now. We're going to reach back out to you. My team waiting. They're waiting. You text bootcamp to this number, somebody's going to call you back. They're going to confirm that you want to take me up on this $97 offer. You can either process that $97 payment over the phone. If you don't trust us, if you ain't comfortable, we can send you a safe invoice through QuickBooks, which is one of the safest ways to invoice through our QuickBooks account. And once you process that $97 payment, we're going to instantly onboard you to our business bootcamp bundle. And so once you log in, you'll get a welcome email. Once you log in to Ramonepreston University on your dashboard, you're going to see your enrollment in our business bootcamp bundle. There's going to be 5 different modules inside. One module is going to be the link, the private link and information for our upcoming bootcamp. That's where you're going to log in on September 2nd at 10 a.m. to 4, and you're going to get access to the live virtual training. Okay. The other 4 modules you're going to see in your dashboard are going to be on the holding company, asset management, creative tax strategies, systems and processes, all of which you have 1 year unlimited access to. And even after the boot camp, the replay will stay on there for that year as well. So all you have to do is text boot camp to 678-276-8253. That's if you want to learn the game for $97. I already got people who've been signing up for the last week or so since we announced it, and they're already responding, telling us. I've personally talked to a few people since last week. I'm not making this stuff up. As a matter of fact, one of the persons is a family member, and they were telling me like, oh my God, this information is like a game changer. So you can learn a lot for $97. Our business boot camp bundle. You get one VIP ticket to my upcoming virtual boot camp, and you get 1 year unlimited access to all 4 of these training programs for holding companies, asset management, creative tax strategies, organizational systems. If there was one question, not question, but request that I would have, that request would probably be not just to thank me later if you went through these 4 programs, but the request would probably be for you to give me a testimonial. Give me a review on Google and send me a written testimonial or video testimonial so I can share it with people so that they can know you get access to this type of education. The information in education is real. It ain't like some made up stuff that you gonna find on the internet. I always tell people that. You go to my university platform, you see all of these courses and educational programs, and you might think, is this just stuff he's repurposing from YouTube? Is he just taking interviews and pieces of information and just plastering it on this platform? No. Almost all of the content on Ramonepreston University, unless I specify that this is a pre-recorded workshop that I did, or this is a clip or an edited version of a show, we have areas for that. But almost all of the content, the courses, the curriculum, the programs that we provide education on Ramonepreston University is me standing behind my digital whiteboard, another display, or I'm sitting down and I'm on some type of Zoom screen walking you through certain steps. It's real education. It's real training. It's me giving you what I have used to get to where I am. That's why I call it the Millionaire Blueprint. All this information is a part of our Millionaire Blueprint. So just text bootcamp to 678-276-8253. Even if you have a question or you just need more information because you're not 100% sure, just reach out to me. My team and I will be more than happy to answer your question. You can look in the comments as well. You'll see my team in the comments with the word bootcamp and the number that you can text the word bootcamp to. We want to help you. We want you to position yourself properly and use concepts and principles like this for leverage points in the next couple of years as we see the number of millionaires probably double. So I love y'all, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining the Ramonepreston Show today. Don't forget to leave a comment, give me some feedback, subscribe to my YouTube page, y'all. I don't know why people be always on YouTube and don't subscribe. We trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We got a little over 9,200. We want to get to 10,000. Wow. I should have been at 10,000. I got over 3,200 videos on my YouTube page. I should have about 32,000, maybe 320,000 subscribers. But guess what? It's coming. I'm patient. I'm consistent. I continue to show up and give people as much value as I possibly can because I know as long as I give, God's going to make sure it's given back to me. So love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday, same place, same time, right here on the Ramonepreston Show.